We made it back up here to John's warehouse where we have been storing some of our machinery, and this is where Lance's hydraulic open side shaper is, right next to my nice Rockford Openside shaper. But we're getting ready to pick this guy up and take it down there to the shop so that we can start messing around with it. We may even, I think the guys might hook it into some power and see about running it. This was a machine that, long machine tool out there in Texas. I saw it whenever I was out there visiting him, and showed it to Lance, and Lance bought it. Hydraulic 36-inch open side shaper, Rockford Machine Tool Company, Rockford, Illinois. Looks good.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this buried in the warehouse over there in Texas.
I haven't been to the warehouse, so
that's an amazing place to see.
I've talked to Ray probably 3 or 4 times.
I know he had to move a lot of machines just to get this thing out. This is your Monarch, right? This is,
that's the other Monarch.
This is come from Craig's up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Craig, the guy that I bought my Rockford from, he also had this Monarch,
and then the sister to it.
He had 2 Monarchs, and there was some more machines. There was a Cincinnati mill, and Lance had made a deal with them on all that stuff, just to kind of help save it. And Craig was ready to get it out of his building.
Yeah.
And John getting the heavy equipment over here to load it up.
That's a little Myford OD grinder.
Oh, this guy right here. Yep. Cool. How about the cast iron surface plate?
That came out of Kansas.
Is that yours too, though?
That's mine, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a little bit smaller than the other one I've got.
That one that's on the stand?
Yeah, the one's on the big cultivator stand.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, I guess I'll turn the camera off and go help you guys get this thing loaded up. Maybe he's got it though. They got me on the small forklift, and we're taking this, we've got this other small granite plate we're taking around to the shop there. I'm not sure what the plan is with this, but maybe putting it to use for the class though. Lance is getting pretty excited about it.
I hadn't really been thinking about it much, you know, and then once we got it out, I'm getting a little
pumped.
Like a kid.
Yeah. It's a cool.
John has all these big toys too.
he makes it look so easy.
I know.
Everything's so easy.
He's so used to picking big stuff up. It's crazy.
If that forklift ain't big enough, hold on, I got a bigger one.
Tell me when, Lance. Come on up about 3 more inches.
Watch the front there, the column.
Good,
yeah, he's got it there.
You're good. Hold on, let's up here. Hold on, John. Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
We'll get these blocks.
I knew there were 2 flat lays on here, but what I couldn't remember was how the table was captured. It has a dovetail on the front,
Yep.
or the non-operating side. Say again? You want me to go ahead and pull it out? Yeah, let's go ahead and get it out of the light.
I love getting these when they're outside in the natural light because you can see them so well compared to being in the shop there. Lance just going to move that other forklift out. Here's that little granite that I was bringing in. I don't know what the deal on it is yet, but John's probably wanting us to check it and maybe use it for the class. Tight squeeze through here. I like it. It's going to be a great little machine.
Is it getting you Jones to get yours out?
Yes, it is.
All right, that's where she's going to set for the duration of the week so we can get to work on her.
So one thing leads to the other, right? Here's the leveling screws for the Rockford, and some of them were tight, of course, so we decided to go ahead and just take them out, clean them, and then my suspicion was that they were threaded to the bottom because a few of them were extremely tight to get out, just like you see him trying to get the jam nut off. So they need to be beveled or dog pointed on the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and modify the end of these screws so that they screw through the casting just like they should. Yeah, that'll work right there. That looks good. Perfect. We'll go ahead and give the ends a face too, make them nice and square to the thread. Sounds like Lance is over there throwing bolts on the floor. Take that guy out and bevel the corner there, make it look good. Perfect. That's what they should have done when they installed those guys right there. Keith made it to the party. Looks like he'd be our electrician today.
Yep, anything blows up, we can blame Keith.
There you go.
I worked for an electrician when I was in high school.
Yeah?
Yeah. I learned just enough to be really dangerous.
I hear you.
He knows how to strip wire with the best of them.
That's it.
Well, they're running some power over here to the machine, and they're gonna see if they can operate it and get this thing running. We don't know how long it's been sitting. Probably a couple decades in a warehouse.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. It don't sound bad.
Motor's running.
I don't know if the motor's running in the right direction or not.
Oh, I hear something bubbling.
I hear something bubbling. I don't know if it's sucking air or pumping.
Sounds like it's sucking air.
All right, we may be running the wrong direction.
Reverse to these.
That sounds a little more right. Look at that, he's got her running.
That's still too fast.
All right, we're just playing with it, figuring it out here. All right, well, Lance and Keith, and we've been screwing around with the Rockford here, just kind of getting things loosened up, getting things moving, and figuring out the controls. And I believe they've got most of it figured out, enough to just kind of get the table moving, get some feeds going. I think even the elevation. So Lance is going to fire it back up here, and we're just going to shoot a quick video showing the thing operating. But the plan is, I believe the plan for Lance this week is that we're going to start taking some of this apart. Possibly, I know we're going to take the table off, but I think he wants to maybe even take the column off of it. He's considering the possibility of sending the bed off so that he can have the ways reground, because they do have some scratches and some gouges in there, but we'll get to that later. Let's just go ahead and show him what it looks like running.
Fired up.
You have your different speed setups right here.
Yeah, so this is, there's 3 ranges right here. I have it set on high range now. There's a high, low, and a mid-range. And then your cut speeds are down here in a stacked arrangement for each range.
Okay.
And then this is stop and start.
Right.
This is your feed knob. That's neutral. And as Keith pointed out, there's these high-tech arrows on here. So up, you'll watch, cross feed. Yeah, so it's feeding. Yeah, it's going. So,
yep.
So this is, if you notice, it's cross feeding ahead there, and then when we come back, see if I can get it.
Now that's your direction, so you'll be feeding.
Now this will feed it back the other direction.
Yep, okay.
All right, and then, go ahead. And then,
that was feeding this down.
yeah.
Okay, so that one control.
You look at the hand wheel. This hand wheel here.
Yeah, okay.
We're getting both a down feed and lateral feed there. So I can pull the lateral feed off right now. Now it's only going to down feed.
Okay, great.
So
all right.
This is your lateral, that's your up and down, and then this is direction.
Okay.
Backs off on that cut.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if you notice, with each cycle, watch this drive shaft here. It'll advance, but then it backs off a partial turn, which is kind of neat. If you're on the head here, it'll actually take the tool pressure off of it.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of like a tool lifter, you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Tool lifter.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
It does it in both directions.
Okay.
It's really cool.
It backs the cut off just enough so it's not dragging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then this is your column or height adjustment, which will take the head up and down.
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
This is moving the.
Yeah, you can have to look up here. You
Yeah.
can see
Well, he's moving the column up and down right there.
And if you pull that handle and we put it here, that adjusts the elevation on this head.
Yeah. This will be your side head for cutting the side of a workpiece there. You can see
Now,
it keeps moving it up.
This is manual. This is the only thing on here that's manual in terms of it's not driven by any hydraulics. So it's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
This is leaking like a sieve here.
Yeah.
Lots of hydraulic on off valve. And then he figured out what this does is it'll actually change the amount of movement.
Yeah.
So that'll be your step over essentially, or down. Step down or step over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, there's no clapper boxes on this thing because it backs off that cut. So I guess it does. I didn't see that while
Yeah, there is. There's clappers on both of them.
Yeah. This one's got a clapper right here.
Okay, I was thinking it didn't have one. But
Now there.
Okay. And this thing by design is going to be a little noisy because it's a hydraulic. There's a hydraulic pump in there running. So they're known to be a little bit noisy to run.
So anyway, it's got just a bunch of wear.
Yeah. So you can see right here, there's some scoring right here, and I think it's all the way down. So the back actually, it's got a little bit more. These are a little deeper right in here. So it's possible he's going to end up sending this entire base out, and they'll go in and they'll grind the tops of the ways, but also you can see it's dovetailed.
Both sides.
So yeah, both sides. You have a dovetail here and on that side. So what may happen if he decides to have somebody grind the ways, but he'll actually take and scrape the bottom of the table, but probably add the turkite.
I think I'm going to turkite it. If I send this out, we'll grind this, and then I'll make up the height difference with turkite.
Yeah,
It'll
okay.
be so much easier solution.
So add the turkite and then scrape the turkite to match the ways.
And the nice thing about this one, unlike my planer and even your planer, is this table does not come off the ways.
Right.
Okay, good.
That was one of the reasons why I chose not to turkite mine, because when it came off the waves, it'd be dragging back on when it comes back on.
Okay.
But this here, it never goes off, so it's going to be a perfect candidate for turkite.
Yep.
Cool.
So,
all right. Well,
I'm pretty stoked. I appreciate you guys helping me get this all loosened up. Because it's been sitting in a warehouse forever.
It's been sitting there a long time. We've just been kind of cleaning it off, adding some oil to it.
Yep.
Wanted to see it kind of operate and move. And I guess now it's time to start tearing it down. So it's going to be a heck of a project, huh?
We got a week to do it.
A week? We'll get it done in a couple days.
Yeah, the thing I like about John is he's got all the equipment to move everything.
Yeah, he's got.
And he's not afraid of
taking
big stuff apart.
I just think it's funny because it's like, oh no, I got a big lift. It's over in another building. Let me go grab that. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. All righty. All right, so Keith and I have been getting one of his 12-inch Rucker straight edges set up on Lance's Rockford over here, his 36-inch Openside. So we're making our very first cuts with it using his machine. Lance had to go and take care of some business. He'll be back in a little while. But we wanted to show you this because we're making our first cuts with this, but we're going to set up another straight edge and we'll get some better video of the second one. All right, so we're doing an aggressive cut right now. He dialed in a 100 thousandths. It's handle it so we can tell when it makes the cut, the table stops for a second. It's almost like there's some slack in there.
I think it's the hydraulic system he's bleeding or got some loose seals or something. I don't know.
Yep. So at least we know the machine is actually running. You know, we don't know how long this thing's been sitting in Long's warehouse or how long it's been since it's run, but it's doing the job. It's working. So, like I said, he's got 2 of these to do. This is our sort of practice to get the machine set up, and then we'll do one more and show you some more of that right there. But it's doing a good job. Yeah. This is still our first one. We're just, I had to touch that tool up. It got the corner of it, so we're going to put a little better finish on it. And this got to be done. Well, I've reached that point in my footage where the audio quit working on my GoPro again. I mentioned this in the last video. I had a lot of clips that I took that did not record audio. So I'm going to try to talk you through some of this footage. And obviously you can see Mr. Keith Rucker there, vintagemachinery.org. Be sure to check out his channel. He's also got some video footage of doing this machining on these straight edges. Also the grinding he did as well. And so what I was showing you right here is instead of using the dial, the collar there on the cross feed dial, we were just using a dial indicator, setting it up on the tool, and just manually moving that screw. I think we were going either 50 or 100 thousandths a pass, depending on which pass we were at there. So he's just talking about moving the tool over, I believe 100 thousandths at that point to make another cut, and that worked out really well, being able to just quickly offset it like that. And I believe here I was just trying to show you the feed mechanism working, and you can see where it's actually feeding the tool head down at an angle. We've got the tool head set at a 45-degree angle, and on each pass it feeds it down 25 thousandths, which was actually a very coarse feed for doing this job, but that was the slowest feed that we could get adjusted on the machine. There needs to be a little bit of work done with the hydraulic valve that you use to adjust the feed on the machine. That shows the stops. You set the stops where you want on the table to change the feed direction each time there. So just some more shots. I wanted to try to get some footage of the machine running. I always like to try to share that. Nice big motor there. I believe that was a 10 horsepower motor, and it's coupled directly to the Vickers pump on the inside of the housing there. But the machine worked pretty well, but it obviously needs some work, and we're gonna be taking this entire machine apart because Lance wants to do a full rebuild on it. He wants to get the ways ground and scrape the bottom of the table after he adds some turkite, get it scraped in, and then address whatever hydraulic issues the machine is going to have that needs to be repaired there. But this was a fun job doing this. A couple of Keith squares, a couple squares that belonged to the students there at the scraping class, and it was a good way to try out the machine for the first time.
Over here, Keith, Lance, and John are working on the Rockford. They're getting ready to take the table off here pretty soon. I believe the guys have this ready to remove. I'm not sure. I'm not over here turning any wrenches, but you can see in here we've got this is your hydraulic system that runs the table. I'm going to get some more clips of this as they make some progress, and I know the goal is to get the table off and do some inspecting, maybe some measuring to see what kind of wear is in it. There you go.
Side shift. There you go. Just keep bumping it like that. You got it. Okay, you got it. Oh, wait, stop. Come up. All right, now come on back. Well, yeah, let's just get it down here first, and then we can roll it. You want to roll it on the floor? Stop. Okay, come on, Mother. Stop. Down. All right, let's
Guys did a good job getting the table off the Rockford. They're going to do some inspecting on it to kind of see what kind of condition the way's in. So, of course, this is looking at the bottom of the table. There's your slide ways. They're setting up the Kingway now to do some measuring on the ways here.
On the back, and then we've got a dial indicator on the front, and what Lance is going to do is he'll come in here and actually put a gauge block in here with a dial indicator, and we can make comparative measurements. So we can say, okay, you know, I don't know what the distance is, but this basically becomes 0, and we measure off of that, and we compare those measurements as we go down. And what that tells us is how this thing is moving in and out on the dovetails. Is it growing and shrinking? And it should, because this machine's a worn machine. The other thing it's telling us is the plane. So we got a flat way here, we got a flat way here. We're looking at how it rocks changes in elevation with one side to the other. The way we're doing that is using this precision level. This level, the graduations in here, each line represents 3/10,000ths of an inch per foot. So we measured this. This is 16 inches, so you kind of have to adjust it. So for every line in here, on this particular setup, the way we got it right now, it's 4/10,000ths of an inch. So that moves one bubble. Basically, you're rising or dropping, depending on which way the bubble goes, 4/10,000ths of an inch. 0, and we go down to the next place. We just
taking a gauge block to the average surface area and sliding it under the gauge, and then I'm referencing that to our 0 mark. So that's minus. We didn't 0 it, but right here.
A lot of times, what I do too is, see these lines they put on there? That's where you stop the bubble.
Right.
And when you're moving this thing, you always push it and move it the same way. You don't go down there and then come back this way, because it's.
if I go this way and I miss my mark, I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna come back to it.
Here's an update on Lance's Rockford. They've been getting the machine apart. I actually left a little early yesterday to get some of my personal business done, so I wasn't able to help them get some of these parts off. But you can see they've got the upper crosshead off of the machine, the support that goes behind it there, some of the parts and pieces over there that they're looking at, and their plan is to finally finish getting it completely broken down. The upper column here separates from the base. You can see the cap head bolts there and the split line. I want to get the column off of it and ultimately have the base. Lance will probably send this guy out to have reground. So that's where they're at. Still got quite a few pieces to come apart. Got the hydraulic system still to deal with here. All right, next update on the Rockford teardown. The guys got the hydraulic cylinder out of it, and they got a lot of parts over here. And I think they are getting the, you can see there's the hydraulic valve system there. They're trying to get everything disconnected so that that can come out. That comes out that side there. Ultimately to get the column off as well. Well, for today's lunch, we're gonna do, I'm gonna cook some Conecuh sausage for sausage dogs. And then this is some duck breast that Keith Rucker brought. He recently went hunting up on the Great Salt Lake and hunted some duck. And these are duck breast. And the way he recommends cooking them is put a little salt and pepper on them, wrap them in bacon, and grill them to medium rare. So we're gonna give it a try today. I just set the duck breast on there. They just started cooking, but I want to show you what they look like. We'll give it a quick peek and then let them finish cooking in. Using John's Big Green Egg here. There we go. And we got our Conecuh sausage about ready to go. We'll let them finish out so we can have us some delicious lunch today.
about? You got it. Woohoo!
That was a hell of a job getting that sucker out of there.
I do not want to have to do it again. I know how to do it now.
All right, here's a little progress shot of where we're at on the Rockford. It's almost fully apart with the exception of the column still on there, but I believe, Lance, are you gonna wait for another time to take that off, the column?
We'll try to get it off right
We're gonna see if we can break the cap head bolts right.
Okay. I think they're gonna see if they can crack it loose, but anyway, here we go. We just pulled the motor out, got it set right here, and there's another pallet outside with a lot of the parts on it.
And the cross arm
Yeah.
and the other working head is already on a pallet in the warehouse. So
Yep, so you got 3 pallets full of stuff, plus the table right here. But it's almost in all pieces now. You can see the column right here, and there's a series of cap head bolts that go all the way around that bolted onto the main base of the machine right there. And that's the last piece of the puzzle really to get off. You can see right there the split line. There's a key that holds it in. The line's in it anyway.
Go in there and what is this, 3/8?
This is all of your hydraulic fluid tanks, so all this has got to be, you know, soaked up and cleaned out.
Actually, see, you can, I don't know, we're gonna have to have like a piece you put in there for the wrench on there.
This is one of the pumps for the feeds right there. I think he's just going to leave that on, but you can just unbolt that if he wants to. So that's where we're at. All right, I think we're ready to try to pluck this column off here, and boy, has it been a job getting all those cap head bolts out right back there all the way around. So we've got them all out, and theory it should just come on off there. We're gonna give it a shot and see.
let's get it. Get some tension on the fork.
All right, we don't have any.
Yeah, I just separated it.
Yeah.
You want me to get some weight on the forks here?
Yeah, I just separated the whole thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
We're gonna put a little tension on the
Going up. Yep. Going up. Just want you to hold it. I don't want to pick it up. That's it. Okay, Keith. Coming.
was getting out of this thing earlier, and my knee hit the key there and broke it off. So we're having to use our pocket knife.
That's just so we can come back and steal it later.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
So just so John knows. Well, this is the moment that Lance has been waiting for all week long. Finally got Keith. Keith too. He's been down here getting it apart as well.
Maybe Keith more than me.
I did the heavy lifting. This is that face is hand scraped too. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been scraped in right there, but they did have some shims in there as well. This is the key. It just came out of the housing.
This space was right off the planer. You can see the planer marks down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It's all in pieces there. We ended up taking this valve off. We just went ahead and got it out the way. So now he can send this thing off whenever he's ready to have the ways ground properly.
Yeah, it's just the castings. Now there's nothing else to take apart.
The only thing on here left is the electrical.
The switch and the tool shelf.
And the electrical
And
box.
electrical box.
That's the only thing we haven't taken apart.
Yep.
We need to take that apart.
Oh, you got a sight over here. There's an oil sight down here for the.
We need to get that off before it gets
Yeah, we gotta get that off.
Yeah, we'll get it off there. The hard part's done. That is cool. I wonder how many Rockford hydraulic open side shapers have been taken completely apart and showed on YouTube. That is neat. Well, now we got to start the big task of getting everything cleaned up. We're gonna be putting this over into the warehouse where the machines are stored, and get all this stuff cleaned up.